Kohala Kuamoʻo, Naeʻoleʻs Race to Save a King. Author, Kaulele a Naeʻole Kawaiʻaia. Art illustrator, Aaron Kawaiʻaia. And Mo'olelo by Walter and Luana Kawaiʻaia.
Okay, class, said my homeroom teacher. Today's assignment is to learn about your inoa, or name. It has been said that the most prized possession of any Hawaiian is his inoa. Kumu told us that a name is more treasured than a woven mat, a man's malo, or even a chief's ahu'ula, made of the finest feathers. When you go home today, she said, ask your ohana about how you received your inoa and why it's important to you. Just then the bell rang. Remember, your homework is due tomorrow, she said. As I stepped through the doorway at home, Grandpa was playing his ukulele. I got right to my homework. Can you tell me about my name? I know Uncle K gave it to me, but what does it mean? Is there a story behind it?
Aye, there is. Come. Sit with me. Let's travel back in time to the days of your great ancestors, Kahoʻopulani and Chief Naeʻole. Your name, Kekaulele a Naeʻole, means the flight of Naeʻole. Naeʻole was a great chief of Kohala on Hawaii Island. His name Naeʻole means without shortness of breath, and he was known as a great runner.
As I listened to this exciting story, I could feel myself being transported back to a historic time and place, to Kapa'akai Kokoiki Kohala, where Kamehameha the Great was born.
It was a stormy night in the month of Ikuā during the reign of Alapa'inui. A chiefess of Hawaii, Kekuiapuiwa, gave birth to a baby boy. It was foretold by a kahuna that this keiki would become a warrior king and unite the Hawaiian Islands. Signs accompanied the ali'i's birth: crashing waves, peals of thunder, forked lightning, heavy winds, and torrential rains. A great star with a tail of white fire streaked across the heavens. The powerful Alapa'inui and other chiefs of Hawaii Island heard of this prophecy and were not pleased. This child would prove their downfall. Death for the newborn be the only solution. But among other chiefs, another plan was made to save the newborn. Immediately after the birth, Naeʻole, the great chief of the Halawa district, would take the baby and flee into the hills. He would then deliver the babe safely to Kahoʻopulani, his half-sister and first cousin, the chiefess Kekuiapuiwa. So, on that stormy night, Kamehameha was born. Naeʻole took the newborn, wrapped in soft kapa cloth, and began the race to save a king. Naeʻole's destination was Avini. Running with careful speed, he crossed rugged trails, dense forests, swollen rivers, and steep valleys. To avoid being captured by Alapa'i's men, Naeʻole hid in caves and received help from people in different villages along the way. As Naeʻole began the trek, he reached Pu'umaunakea, a small hill near Mo'okiniheau. He hid there until it was safe and then continued to the first village, Ho'ea, which means to arrive. The people of Ho'ea were waiting anxiously for this blessing to come. They provided Naeʻole with safe shelter for a brief moment, then sent him and the babe on their way. Naeʻole's next stop was Hawi, a village name meaning to suffer a famine. Because there was no wet nurse, the infant began to cry from hunger. Back at Kokoiki, a worried mother, Chiefess Kekuiapuiwa, awaited news of her newborn son. By this time, Alapa'i's warriors discovered that the baby had been taken. They gathered their forces, searched the surrounding area, and arrived at Hawi only to find that Naeʻole and the child were already gone. The raging storm made their search nearly impossible. Chief Naeʻole took refuge near Honomaka'u, an area named for seeking shelter from fear. He hid in a place sheltered by trees. The rain and muddy trails made it difficult to continue, but Naeʻole kept going. As dawn approached, Naeʻole came to the village of Kapa'au, meaning the place where the kapa went swimming. The streams were swollen because of the heavy rains. When Naeʻole crossed the swirling water, the baby's kapa got drenched and lost in the current. Naeʻole then stopped at Halaula, a place named for the severe punishment Alapaʻi's warriors would face if they didn't find the child. Not fulfilling the king's orders was considered a hala, or sin, that would cost the men their ula, or blood. Leaving Halaula, Naeʻole reached his lands, Halava. There he was safe to rest and catch his breath among his own people. The baby was doing well and had enough breath and strength in him to continue the journey, hence the name Halava, meaning enough breath. From there, Naeʻole ran to the village of Makapala, named after the warriors' futile attempts to find the newborn. As the men became weary and desperate, their maka or eyes became pala, swollen and ripe like red hala. Naeʻole kept running until he reached Pololu Valley. Awini was still in the distance. He checked to see if Alapaʻi's men were near. The trek down into the valley was dangerous, but the tireless Naeʻole had vowed to complete this important mission, so he ran toward his final destination. After traveling day and night through miles of rugged mountains and deep valleys, Naeʻole and the baby Kamehameha finally reached Awini. Naeʻole's half-sister, Kahoʻopulani, was waiting for them. She quickly nursed and hid the newborn. As the baby slept, Alapaʻi's warriors arrived and saw Kahoʻopulani with her own baby girl. Dejected, the warriors left. The race to save a king was over. Naeʻole had fulfilled his kuleana, and the infant Kamehameha was safe. And so your name, Kekaulele a Naeʻole, is to remind you of Naeʻole's flight. If not for the courage and devotion of your Kohala ancestors, the life of Kamehameha the Great would have ended at birth.
Mahalo, Grandpa, for telling me about my inoa. I'm going to write this all down for my homework. I think my kumu will like it.
Aye, Grandma will help you. Your name carries our family mo'olelo, our stories, our most valuable possessions. Other families also have their own mo'olelo. We keep the stories alive so we can live worthy of our great ancestors' respect.
Are there more mo'olelo?
Aye, there are more mo'olelo, and those stories are for another